This is awesome. Okay, I have a few questions.
Okay.
All right, so we have.
I thought I was going to get off here. This is a piece of cake. It's only going to make me work.
It gives me a break though. It's not asking me the questions.
yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell him that. I'll tell him. I'm like, okay, I'll read. I think I've read like Salad Bar Beef like 4 times because I have to reread it, get some new stuff, and then I'll try to tell him that stuff. And I'm like, you need to read the book. Like you got to catch up. But anyway, the probably very specific questions for you. That might be, I think, pretty easy.
Okay.
We've got 160 acres, grass, trees. Old Angus farmer did a great job with the grass, and we're going to keep building it. I don't know the numbers of organic content. I was trying to measure our bricks today. Anyway, so we just bought our first cows, and I want to buy more, but we bought. I went to the auction, and it terrified me. And so I said, okay, but then we bought the cows we bought from. They were Devons, and they were from a local breed, and they were great. They were quite expensive. And I guess we're trying, the amount of cash you need. And so I'm just trying to figure out, okay, where should I start looking for the next purchase?
Okay, so, yeah, wow. My mentor, Alan Nation, used to say, if you go to an auction and if in the first 5 minutes you don't know who the sucker is, it's you.
Yeah, I remember that. And I was like, and I was in like Lululemon pants and sandals, and I'm like, oh, everybody was looking at me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So our general recommendation on a question like that is generally buy commercial females.
Okay. When you say commercial,
I mean just what everybody else has.
Okay.
Just what's available.
Okay.
What's in the community. I mean, obviously you don't want to buy somebody's junk, but what you want to do is you want to be able to buy females that if they don't work, you can get your money back.
Okay.
Here's the problem. When you spend $2,000 for a female, you can't get your money back out of her if she doesn't work. So you want to buy females that are down closer to $800, $900, $1,000.
Okay.
That way, if she doesn't work, and work can be everything from being ornery to open, she won't breed, to losing a calf. I mean, any number of things, all the above. And if she doesn't work, you can grind her up and get your money back. Okay? So that's hard to do when you start buying exotic, exclusive breeding stock.
Okay. Yep.
All right? Then what that does is free up your money to put your money in the bull of your dreams.
Okay.
So because remember, the bull is half your genetics, right? So if you keep getting the bull you want over time and holding back your own heifers, then so you get some cheap commercial cows.
Yeah.
The first year now, and you get the bull you want. Yeah. You're going to have 50% where you want to go first year.
Okay.
Cheap.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And you can use that bull for a couple of years. Okay. And or maybe you borrow a bull. Maybe you're small enough herd that you have somebody in the area that has a bull like you would like, and you share a bull.
Okay.
Okay. That's certainly possible as well. Anyway, and then if you retain your heifers in pretty short order, 6-7 years, you're going to start seeing cows, because you're going to start, those initial cows that you bought, they're going to be gone, and you're going to start having, cows that look like what you want to do, and that's the way to ease into it with lower risk.
But you say auction or just locally,
locally available. I mean, if you can find now, we're prejudicial against black cows because they're so hot.
I know.
And
they're jumping out of the ring.
Yeah, and so we tend to look for anything off black. Okay. Herefords, coffee colored, tan, brown, red. All right, any of those that are lighter colored, because the hair temperature is 40 degrees difference on a sunny day.
That's so true.
40 degrees different. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And in the winter it doesn't matter because they all get furry and hairy, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that's my kind of financial advice as you get into it.
Okay. All right. So I've only got 5 cows. I've got about 100 acres of pasture, and I was just going to let it sit while we eat it because I don't have any hay equipment. Would you say that's probably good? Because I don't want the grass to stop growing, but at the same time, I don't have hay equipment, and I don't want if somebody's going to come in and take some of the hay off the land. I don't know, because we don't know as many people as I'd like to know right now.
Right. Well, I always hate to sell biomass.
Yeah.
That's like selling soil.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't want to just turn those cows out on that, and they're going to eat all the clover, and all the fescue is going to go to seed, and you're going to hurt your clover. And okay. So in general, I would choose a certain amount. So from the sounds of things, you haven't done your infrastructure development yet.
We're doing the rotating paddocks. We just got the cows though. So the grass is
we do have a tractor. We've got the, brush, the brush hog, whatever. So should we? I guess do we cut the grass, just let it lay there, regenerate, instead of just leaving it to grow and then
just sitting there? I don't know.
I think it's fine to let it get on up, kind of turn a little bit brownish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then just mow it, put it right back on the ground,
okay,
and mulch it in.
Okay.
That's better. That's better than selling it, because then you're selling your soil.
Yeah.
But remember, the protocol is number one, access.
Mm-hmm.
So where's your access going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Get your access in. And then you put your electric fence down both sides of that. That gives you an alley.
Yeah.
So one person can take those animals from one end of the place to the other without any help. And then you run your water line down one side of that alley. Mm-hmm. And then you're up. And you don't want any cross fences longer than 200 yards. So those are kind of rules of thumb, because you just can't carry enough stakes and wire, for 200 yards.
Yeah.
And then of course you fence out all of your special areas, like a little, a steep woodlot bank, a pond, a marsh, or whatever. Okay, and you fence out what you don't want, and that's all. So the lane and the boundary and those special landscape features you don't want the cows in. That's all the permanent fence you build. Everything else is mobile.
So is that with the 9 gauge? The aluminum?
Yeah.
Okay.
We use 12.5 gauge.
12.5. Okay.
A lot cheaper.
So I went around. So our perimeter fence is kind of in shambles. It's old. So that's our next big thing. So you're saying I can go. I saw your post. So y'all take those poles and y'all just ram them into the ground and do the 12.5 gauge. Just one, or would you say multiple? Okay.
One.
All right.
If your cows, one.
Yeah.
And if you're sheep and goats, you better have 3.
Okay.
But if your cows, one's fine.
Okay. All right. Then I know that's our big part, because we met with NCRS, and I know, and then I read the part of the chapter, and I was like, I think we can do this, and we can even actually use old cedar poles that are already in the ground.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can reuse them.
Yep.
You can reuse them. Most places have something that's rot resistant, naturally growing.
Yeah.
Osage orange.
Yep.
And the beauty of the electric fence is the posts don't have to be more than 5 feet.
Yep.
You're only going to put them 2 feet in the ground, 3 feet out. That's plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And all it's got to do is hold the staple. It can be
that big.
It can be pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
A 2x4 is plenty.
Okay.
And yes, you can do that. And I know gas is expensive, but if you want to come up and see we're functional, man. I mean, we're seeing is believing, and when you see our fences, that's one of the most amazing things people say. They drive up and say, "Man."
Well, that's what we thought about your outbuildings
too. So I went
too.
into your barns actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, you were there. Of course, you were there. Yeah, you saw the fence.
Because I was asking,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
No.
So I was like, okay, what? And so y'all have the blue poles. Is that their post hole count? I was like, what do you use?
It's a pound of poles.
I'm trying to figure out where do I get the piece of equipment that can help me?
Oh, okay. It's a post driver.
But can you
Post
rent
bounder.
this? But I think you put a chapter in there about like don't buy one for a one-time job.
No,
because it doesn't make sense.
There's a neighbor with one.
Okay.
I guarantee you that within 2 or 3 miles of you, there's got to be a neighbor with a post bounder.
Okay.
Now, driving these short ones, you might have to put a spacer in it.
Okay.
Because they're made for 8-footers. You know, so you might have to put a spacer in so it'll go down low enough. They only have so much throw.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you might have to put a spacer in to get it down, to 3 feet. But yeah, you can borrow one. Could you rent one? I've never rented one. They probably could.
Okay.
I don't know, but they're around. For a one-time deal, you don't need to buy a post bounder.
Well, so final question for you. This doesn't have anything to us. What is because I've heard so much about what you've spoken. What's right now your on your heart that you're going after next?
On our heart that we're going after next. Well, on the farm, we're really trying to cultivate this gathering thing. You saw the LLC.
Yeah,
Isn't that a beautiful structure? All
amazing.
built with our
and
own
I saw
stuff.
the tree, and I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I showed it to some friends. I'm like, look at this.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I call it classy rustic.
Yeah.
It is.
Rustic. Yeah.
It's a good description.
Yeah. But I mean, this is cool
Joanna
too.
Gage is going to take that from you. She's so.
I mean, this is kind of cool, but
Yeah.
it's not like what we did.
Yeah.
It's the. I mean, you look up and see the bark rafters, and it's pretty cool. All right, so
the events.
Yes, the events thing, the gathering thing. We want to get to the point where we are the go-to place for people who want to hold an event, a gathering, not weddings and stuff. I'm talking about informational, both corporate and nonprofit, but organizations want to get together. Because you know what we can do that nobody else does? We can make the food so memorable. Their attendees will be raving about it for 5 years.
That's awesome.
Remember that place we went?
Your gardens were amazing. Like your gardens and just your spaces where y'all just everything.
Yeah. So we're so that's kind of on the farm what I'm working with.
Okay.
Kind of off farm.
Cool.
Oh man.
Beating the USDA.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a real kind of a shaking of interest in this, and so I'm meeting powerful people, that have never entered my life before, that are interested in this. For the first time, we're having these conversations. So, I just got asked if I would be the agriculture, policy writer for the National Libertarian Party.
Wow.
And so,
wow.
So
you're run for president?
I don't think that. But so I'm doing a lot of kind of informational, educational think tank work.
That's amazing.
Off farm.
I feel like it is shaking up, and a lot of individuals are coming up, but places where we can all gather and come together, and finding a community and little spots and how you're doing it. And just thank you for what you're doing, just for the community and for all of us.
Thank you.
Inspiring us to leave what we were doing to start this, and knowing it can happen. So.
Well, I'm so glad you came to visit, and you were able to see. This isn't the show place.
No.
There's not a bunch of white picket fences.
Right.
It's. My mentor Alan Nation used to say, a profitable farm has a threadbare look. Yeah. And I love that. Yep. We have the grass is beautiful.
Yeah.
The animals are beautiful. But the structure, the capital stuff is run of the mill. Yeah. It's very, very functional. Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for being here.
Well, hopefully we can maybe make it up for another one of your events.
I hope so.
I saw Temple Grand and I just got her book, I don't know. That was so cool that y'all had. I don't know when that was.
It was 2 weeks ago in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, awesome. All right. Well, I'll let you rest. I know you